This is Beach Talk Radio.
Good morning, Mr. and Mrs. America, and all ships at sea. This is your captain speaking, Mean Gene. Mean Gene. The following will be a test of the ship's whistle, the sonar alarm, the cable alarm, and the atomic attack alarm.
Ladies and gentlemen, broadcasting live from the Margaritaville Terrace on Fort Myers Beach, 100 feet from the Gulf of America. Here are your award-winning social media superstars, the hosts of Beach Talk Radio, Kim and Ed Ryan.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you all for coming. And look who just walked on stage behind the camera there, Joe. There you go.
There's a little Brandley.
Joe Harity is with us here, and Joe's wife and brand new daughter
That's
just
funny.
showed up in the background there.
That's funny.
And Joe, last time you were here, your wife was still pregnant with your daughter, and you spilled the beans on the baby's name, and you got in trouble at home. But Joe Harity's with HM a Restaurant Group, which includes Doc Ford's and Bonita Fish Company and Dixie Fish Company. And if anybody's walking by or watching from their rooms, we do this show here every Saturday on the Margaritaville Terrace. You can follow us on Facebook or YouTube. And all the content that we talk about has to do with Fort Myers Beach, the rebuilding, the rebirth, and some new births, as a matter of fact. So, Joe, how is it? That's your first baby, right?
First baby, yeah. We have no clue what we're doing.
Well, I can tell you from experience of a new grandson that's 8 weeks old, they do a lot of eating and a lot of pooping, and that's and sleeping, a lot of sleeping too. Is that right, Mom? That's what they do.
It's funny, like the little progressions, like the big one that Brenly's doing right now is she's sitting up, which allows us to kind of plop her down for 5 minutes at a time. And
how old is she now?
Just over 6 months.
Oh, 6 months. When did she start? Now, I'm asking all these questions for my own selfish purposes. When did she start sitting up like that?
2-3 weeks ago?
Okay.
Yeah.
And I know it's unfair that nobody watching on Facebook or YouTube can actually see the baby sitting up right now. But right now, when you're 8 weeks old, you don't do any sitting up. You don't do a lot of anything. And they grow so fast, don't they, Joe?
It's crazy. Her hair is starting to come in. Yeah, she's she's starting to talk a little bit, make noise and stuff. Right. It's actually kind of funny. With probably 2 weeks ago, she's meh, 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 doing her thing, and all of a sudden, I kid you not, she enunciated. She goes, "Hey, Dad."
No way. No, that's not true.
She didn't mean to, but it just sounded exactly like it. And I was like, both of our ears perked up. It was pretty funny.
Total imagination. It's totally in your head. Wow, she sits up so perfectly like that. Look at that perfect posture there, just like that. Look at you sitting up like that. So is this going to be the only baby, or are you going to have
probably
more?
Not. Yeah.
One more. Yeah, you got to have a boy, right? You got to just keep trying until you have a boy.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, that's awesome. The more babies, the better. That's what I think. And Dave and I were just talking about a brand new baby, and how Dave was. We're not having a brand new baby together. No, let me not misunderstand me. About how the pictures go around like crazy to the family members, and how everybody would be broke if they were still using Polaroid cameras and having to buy all the film for the pictures these days. So.
Yeah, the camera roll in your phone changes significantly after having a kid. That's for sure.
So how are things going at, first of all, the Bonita Fish Company looks fabulous.
Thank you. Yeah. It's going really well. We're really, really excited about it. The staff has just been doing an incredible job getting it off the ground. There's a lot of work and effort that goes into, having a successful start, to your restaurant. And, there's always things to improve on, and we're making adjustments as we go, but it's been overall just such an awesome success to see. And it's bringing, we're trying to kind of brand that area as Fisherman's Wharf, Fort Myers Beach.
Okay. And for anybody that doesn't know, the restaurants are below the Matanzas Pass Bridge on the left-hand side before you come to Fort Myers Beach.
Right. Yeah, and I think the area, you got Doc Ford's, Dixie, and then Bonita Fish Company, and we're trying to create it as like a destination venue for the area, and we're trying to come up with some ideas for different events. Like we want to maybe do like an annual Stone Crab Fest down there or
Nice.
something like that, you know. And down in Naples they have they call it the canoe races. So that's a big event they do down there. So just something to kind of bring people together in the community. I know.
Is it an actual canoe or like one of those cardboard things?
I think it's like a cardboard thing. I think
they do that in the Cape too.
Yeah.
It's a big, huge thing.
Yeah.
People love that because
Yeah.
they get a chance to build something.
Yeah,
And then,
just something to bring people together and make it more of a community feel. And we have the space down there. The parking, of course, as most people know, is a little tight. But I think we all saw, actually, if you guys were around for the Christmas boat parade. If there's an event going down, if there's a reason to go somewhere, people will find a way. So
yeah, I've been saying that for years. The
yeah.
more events you have on the beach, the more people come down and enjoy. Now, you thinking about the possibility of adding some retail? Is that because there was we used 100 years ago we used to go down to Naples.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember what it's called. Is it called like it's right on all the way down to the
Tin
end.
City?
Tin City, where they had restaurants and a little bits of tiny retail shops.
Yeah, same idea. We would be a little smaller in Tin City, but we have that blue. We call it the Blue Warehouse over at Bonita Fish, and right now it's empty. But we're trying to figure out what to do with that. It was an old fish packing plant, processing facility back 60s and 70s, and it's empty right now. But we're throwing around some ideas, but. And then we have that one room just adjacent to our private event space too that the DEP used to rent. And that's currently on the market for rent right now too. So there's options out there, and it's just a cool area, It's just going to be good to kind of create a destination for people. They can do multiple things, and we're trying to rack our brains. We obviously the 3 restaurants are down there, but what are some other creative ideas to bring people down there? So
yeah, and it's an awesome space, and I know that the county is working on an official boat ramp, right? As you go down Main Street a little bit.
I heard that, but I think that may have fell through. Last I heard, there's they backed out of that.
Oh,
yep.
Okay, I'll have to look into that.
That was the old Olson's Marine property. So my understanding is that there's actually a private interest now looking at that property. So
I wonder what that would be then. Yeah.
So we along those lines, I'm not sure if I mentioned it last time, but we were trying to work with the county to vacate Fisherman's Wharf, that road. And one of our arguments was, hey guys, you're going to be putting in this boat ramp just across the way. You don't really need the access here at the end of Fisherman's Wharf, so on and so forth. But throughout that conversation, that's when we heard that they were no longer going to do that boat ramp. So.
I see. I didn't hear that from Mr. Mullica. I'll have to ask him.
Yeah.
He only brings me the things when things are happening. He doesn't bring me the things when they fall through the cracks. By the way, did you guys see that the governor appointed somebody to the county board? I'm happy it's a woman because there was way too much testosterone on that board for, and it's when I think I read it in the newspaper, one of the TV stations said that she's like only the 3rd woman to ever sit on the Lee County board. And I'm totally baffled by that. But I mean, I've never heard of her. But I never heard of Ray Sandelli before he was appointed either. So it'll be interesting to see how that whole thing plays out. And I know there's an election coming up after that, and Amanda Cochran is going to be running for that seat again. But they're back up to 5, and we'll ask David what's going on over there. Now you guys have Doc Ford's 2 or 3 locations now. I know you have something in St. Pete.
Yeah, there's 4 total Doc Fords, and 2 of those are up in St. Pete. Downtown St. Pete Pier. Then we have in the Jungle Terrace neighborhood, which is on the way to like Madeira Beach. Doc Ford's over there. So those ones are doing good. Actually, this weekend there's a big music festival at the pier downtown St. Pete.
Nice.
It's a city property, so they like to do the same thing, bring all sorts of different events and stuff. And so we'll see how that affects the restaurant.
Yeah. And then so you guys have under the bridge, you have Doc Ford's, and then what's the order? Dixie or Bonita, and then Bonita. What's the order?
Doc's, Dixie, then Bonita.
Yeah. Yep. Now you guys go ahead.
I was gonna say we actually just finished. There's a deck. I'm not sure if some of you guys are familiar, but there's a deck in between Dixie and Bonita there now, and we're in the process working with the county to put a tiki hut there.
Very nice. Yeah, breaking news right there. And that's not going to fall through the cracks. There's no chance of that happening.
We surely hope not. I mean, we're in the process also of finishing up our marina. So our actual floating docks actually just got delivered this past week. So those are ready to go in. The piling should go in probably beginning of the new year. So it's gonna start to look drastically different down there, which would be cool.
Yeah, and you guys are making major investments in that area.
Yep. I think people have been pleasantly surprised overall with what's going on over there. I know there's, some of the buildings are historically designated, so that was a big concern with what are they going to do, and we try to preserve as much of it as we can, and I think we did that.
Yeah, and some of it needed to be repaired.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're being honest, you read on social media about I want to keep it like this, and you keep it like that, and you keep this on the menu, and I mean, nothing is static forever.
Exactly.
And it needed an upgrade.
It's costs go up over time, and it's just with the investment that we put in, it kind of we're happy with it, and we think it's going to be an awesome spot. Especially when that tiki's down in the brand new marina, it's going to be all floating docks.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a really cool spot. So.
Yeah, and a lot of those buildings are brand new. The Coast Guard building around the corner there is brand new, and those two giant yacht places, or maybe
diversified yacht.
Yeah,
that's
brand new buildings.
That's a definitely new construction. You got Vixens right there.
I swore I would never mention that, but we were coming back from the Marina Cantina boat parade awards, and Kim, she was going to the new traffic light, one of the 12 new traffic lights, and she looked across the street. It's like turtle lighting times 1,000 coming off that building.
I know.
So,
what are your thoughts on that traffic light?
It's a good idea for people that are trying to get out of there and go up the bridge to make the left during season.
Yep.
I get here at 6 o'clock in the morning, so I
it
never
doesn't
worry about traffic lights.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how it works in season. 2 lanes going on, and we'll see.
I think the changes that they've made from like Buttonwood and Prescott down to the bridge seem to be working now with the 2 lanes. And by the way, if anyone's coming to the beach today, the sheriff's department is out there with their shooters, and they're not gun shooters, but they're pulling people over. So they had 2 people pulled over, and so it's drive the speed limit. The beach will be here when you get here.
We've noticed that almost every day there's somebody gunning people, and it's good. It's good to mention that, actually.
So you how many total restaurants now?
6 total now.
6. What's the goal?
We want to grow, but grow slowly, organically. We want to know everybody's names and that kind of stuff. I mean, we get opportunities, but it's got to be just the right fit for us. We want to be on the water, of course. That's a limited number of places that are available, of course. But we don't really have a set goal as to how many we want to open up. But like I said, it's got to be right for us, and it's got to make sense. And one thing that we take a lot of pride in is with all the staffing issues going on these days, and finding people, being in the people business, it's I can count on one hand how many of our managers have been hired externally. We have, I think all of our current GMs actually started as bartenders and servers, and so it's just, we take a lot of pride in that. It's a family atmosphere, and we have a little sense of fear if we grow too much, then that might go away. So,
well, speaking of that, give us a little history lesson here. The first restaurant, was it on the Sanibel?
Well, actually, the very first, my dad Marty and his partner Mark Marinello bought the Beached Whale, 1997.
Yeah.
So that was actually the first one, and then Dock Fort Sanibel was 2003, and then you had Dock Fort Myers Beach in 2009. And then after that was Captiva Dock Fords 2013.
Is that still there?
That's not there anymore.
Okay.
No, that one after Ian, we were tenants to South Seas.
Okay.
So after Ian, we had a little conversation, and we mutually agreed just to terminate all the leases. So which is probably for the better.
A lot of stuff going on South Seas. So you probably don't need that.
Yeah, I haven't been out there actually. I heard the water parks. Is it open yet?
I don't know.
Pictures of it. It looks pretty wild. But yeah, there's a lot going on out there.
It's better to be under the radar sometimes.
So, Captiva is fun, but it's tough to staff out there. A lot of people consider it like the end of the world way out there.
Sure, and, like Marco Island, same kind of thing.
Yeah. It's beautiful though.
So for anyone that doesn't, you said you were going over the Whale today after the show because you had been too busy to get there, and so you guys had the Whale and sold it to Mike and Dawn Miller, and the deal closed 6 months before Ian.
I think we closed at July, August.
Did they still talk to you guys?
I haven't talked to them, but I mean, everybody knows they're great people.
Yeah.
They've built an incrable establishment over there. It's awesome for the beach,
and they're killing it. They're killing it with the new building.
Yeah, we're really excited to go there today. So we tried to go. I forget what day it was. Oh, it was the Sunday of the Sandcastle Fest. I was volunteering over there, putting on wristbands, and we came afterwards. And I think the wait was like a 2-hour wait.
Yeah, yeah. And that's like we're telling the folks down at Santini Plaza at the new Italian restaurant, you're going to run out of food. They ran out of food. I mean, that's just one of those things where your building's not big enough to hold food when you first open down here, because everybody wants to try something new.
And we saw that on the internet and stuff, and we throw them a bone because, I mean, we have the luxury. We have the 5 other restaurants.
When we help each other out.
When we opened Bonita, we had a pretty good pulse as to what our par levels and stuff needed to be, but yeah, that's a juggernaut over there, and it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, they got a great view of the Gulf of America across the street there, and they oversee that ugly parking lot across the street there that never got paved. And no, it's just a nice little jewel to have there. Now, if they could figure out, like you're in the restaurant business, what's going on at the surf club, man? I mean, what is that?
I honestly don't know.
Talk about that. An eyesore right in the wrong spot.
I honestly don't know much about that.
Take that over, will you? Come on, it's right on the water. You need another restaurant.
What's going on at the south end too with the I always forget the name of the development that London Bay is doing?
Yeah. Not much right now.
Yeah, I think I saw something about there's a meeting in a couple weeks or something. But
I don't know if they're coming up to the LPA, but that would be the next big project that comes in front of the LPA. I mean, I can ask Dan tomorrow. Yeah. Not that he ever gives me any answers on those big projects, but yeah, I think, the women's club's coming up. They got a nice new building they're building. They're coming up to the LPA on Tuesday.
Okay.
By the way,
I think I saw renderings of that. Yeah,
it looks really nice. Yeah. Albert at Studio AD and Jim Inc. are putting in their time on that one. And then, we're still waiting. They're still waiting for a restaurant in Santini Plaza. I know the Italian restaurant's supposed to open on the 20th. And then South Beach Grill, I think, is the next one. Have you guys seen any work on that? Oh, they're doing some work on it. They keep saying around January, but sometimes when you look at the insides of these new restaurants, it looks like January. Wow, got a lot of work to do.
I know sometimes maybe there's like a soft opening or a partial opening or something, but we actually were thinking that about the Whale, to be honest with you. And when they opened, it was like everything was completely done. It seemed like, which is great. Yeah.
So when you guys first opened the Bonita Fish Company, reopened it, you closed it for 6-9 months, right? And then did some work.
Yeah, we closed. Was it January of last year? About this time last year, and we opened November 4th. I think was the day that we opened this year. So yeah, most of a year it took to remodel, and it's awesome. Like I said, the next cool thing is going to be the marina, because that's going to drastically change the way it looks out there, and that's everybody knows there was a marina there prior, and so it's going to be cool. We're currently, I have a little list going of people that are interested in keeping their boat there. So shameless little plug, if you know anybody that needs a spot to keep their boat.
Well, they might be losing some slips over here at Moss Marina if that new development ever gets built.
Yeah.
So how many slips will you have when it's said and done?
About 35, give or take. Okay. Yeah, depending on how we lay them out. There's some parallel parking spots that I call it, but about 35. So
and what was there before?
35.
And were they all destroyed in the storm?
All destroyed. Yeah. There's one floater there now that I believe the Semmer family put in after the storm as a temporary thing. But we're allowed to put back exactly how it was, and that kind of sped up the process a little bit. We didn't have to go through all the hoops to get it rebuilt by doing that. And honestly, I think we didn't really have any reason to change the layout that was. So it was an easy decision.
And do you get FEMA money for that, or do you get insurance money, or you just got to pay it?
Just got to pay it.
Oh, okay. Out of pocket money right there.
Along the same lines with all the boats that had to get removed too. That was a little gut punch.
So when you're, I know this is getting old, but I love hearing people's perspective of this. When you first come over you didn't have to come over the bridge, but when you first get to that spot when Ian is a couple days later and you see what you see, what goes through your mind? What's the first thing you're thinking?
Holy shit, this is
exactly.
It's just devastation. I mean, it's now we all laugh about it, and we all have our little different stories and personal experiences, and mine was, I remember walking through Dixie and thinking that Dixie was completely destroyed at first. But I always tell people these days that, Dixie was built in 1937 or thereabouts. And I can tell you the way they built structures back then is very, very impressive because, Dixie, we have the knee wall, but it's all open air. So the floodwaters were essentially up to the ceiling, but it took everything with it, of course. But structurally, there's some deck boards and stuff that had to be redone. The bar got blown out, but the structural integrity of the building was spot on. So it was very impressive. And then the deck over at Dock Ford's, that got flipped up significantly. And I would like to think that helped us a little bit. So then, of course, everybody knows about the shrimp boats that ended up in the corner at Olson's. Those are obviously just massive battering rams. So God forbid those things would have come a little bit closer to us. That could have been it for those buildings over there. So
was there any video that you were able to see from that side?
No, I really wish there was, but yeah, that would have been incredible to see.
Yeah, so you guys are closed for how long after Ian of those two restaurants? Because you owned the two at the time.
Yeah, let's see. Racking my brain. I think Dixie opened first, and that was, I want to say, February, March the next year. And then
of 23.
Of 23.
Not bad. I mean, that's not forever.
Yeah. And then Dock Ford's, I think, was the summer, so July.
And did you get some insurance help?
Yeah, we got some coverage on that. Like kind of like I was alluding to earlier, with some of the boats that had to be removed. Unfortunately, that's on our nickel a lot of times because, like, for example, the one everybody knows, the one that Benita Fish Company that was on the deck. Yeah, we had to take that out on our own dime, and it's not cheap to do that.
Seriously, what does it cost to remove a boat? That
Six figures.
6 figures.
Yep.
Wow, that is insane.
Yeah, so we actually found there was a 88,000-pound tugboat directly behind that boat that everybody was signing, and nobody knew it was there. It was completely submerged, but it was a beautiful. I actually was talking to the owner, and he sent me pictures, and it wasn't a working tug. It was he lived on it, but beautiful tugboat, and it just had sunk right side up, just completely down, and it was
right behind the boat
right
that got stuck.
That got stuck. Yeah.
So did they have to remove that too?
Yeah.
So that's a state thing or a federal thing, right? Because
that's on us.
You had to move the tugboat too.
Yeah.
Why?
I think in an effort to get things done too and progress. It's just the way it worked out. It's I think at that time it was 2 years after the storm,
and it was still there.
And it
would still be there now if FEMA had to do it.
FEMA moved on to the next storm or next event somewhere else in the country, and I think that's why time is of the essence when these events happen. One of our contractors, he was down at Dixie shortly after Ian, and FEMA was there, and he said he just started grabbing the guys by the shirts basically and saying, "Hey, I need you to help me with this, this, and this." And he said that's just how you have to do it sometimes. Is you gotta, when they're there, you gotta
So for people
tell them what to do. Then
there were some people were saying leave the boat there, and so for people that don't understand, it was damaging the dock.
It was damaging the dock, and we actually were required to remove it if we wanted to get a submerged land lease for the docks.
Okay.
So the state was making us get rid of it, which is the right thing to do anyway. I mean, I know it was kind of a symbol of the storm, if you will, but we always say that it was just some random guy's boat. If it was Bill Semmer's boat, the guy who owned Benitavilles, or somebody like that, then that's maybe a different conversation. But it was just some random boat that ended up on the dock and became famous. Do
you know where that boat went?
Yeah, they took it over to Salty Sam's. So the way we got it removed, actually, Salty Sam's was doing their marina, and a company called Gorman Marine just happened to be down there. So we went down there, and they had the big crane, the big barge, and all that. And we worked a deal with them and said, "Hey, on your way out, guys, you got to come by here anyway, if you don't mind plucking it out." And obviously, I'm saying it the easy way, but
but they had to take the tugboat out first, right, to get out of the way,
exactly,
and then get the other boat out. And
I have some cool drone footage of that too. I can send you if you want.
Please, but, I think people would love to see that.
Yeah, and it's kind of a cool story too. I tell people is in that tugboat, and I'll have to remember exactly, but the owner of it had this. He was very concerned about getting something out of the boat, and he didn't tell me at first, and he kept asking me about it. So. This is after we had it removed, and it was covered in barnacles over at Salty Sam's and the whole bit. Very dangerous to go inside, of course. So I told him to get a hold of them, and he did. Long story short, he went in there, and all he wanted, his whole life, all of his belongings were in that boat apparently, but all he wanted to get out was this little cast iron puppy, like model, I guess, that his grandfather had from World War II or something. And, he got it. It was covered in muck and barnacles and everything, but that's all that he wanted to get out of there, which is kind of a cool story. So
Dude, she totally recognizes you. Like
Oh,
smiling
yeah.
at
Hey,
you
Brandon.
as you're telling. She heard you telling
Brandon.
that story, and she just started smiling, which is pretty cool.
she's about the size of that cast iron puppy, actually.
Yeah. So where does that gentleman live? Does he live on the beach?
I don't know,
Does he
actually.
live in a boat?
I lost touch with him, actually. I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you want people to know about the menu at Dixie?
At Dixie.
I'm sorry, Bonita.
Oh, Bonita.
Sorry.
Yeah, the menu. We're actually the end of this year. We're going to do a menu review, and we always do that. Another thing we take pride in is making adjustments. We start with something and we listen to the customers, and if they want something specific, we'll work on it, and if it works out for us, then that's what we'll do. But every quarter we do menu reviews. We look at pricing and all that stuff, what's selling, what's not, and make adjustments from there. But the brunch, we're trying to get that off the ground. That's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 9 to 2. So we're hoping with season that'll pick up a little bit. Yeah, I think it's a pretty good menu right now. But like I said, we're gonna make some adjustments and see what we can improve and go from there. But I think what we really want to do is make it different than what's there at Dixie and Doc Ford's, and I think we did that.
Well,
So.
one of the things I noticed that was different was when we did the ribbon cutting, or the chamber did the ribbon cutting,
Mhm.
that outside tiki bar, little bar there, that wasn't there, was it?
Yeah,
That's
that was
new.
there. Yeah.
Oh, it was
Yeah,
there.
that's
Okay.
a little satellite bar. We
Gotcha.
we redid it and put new top on it, but yeah, that's a popular little bar.
Yeah, because you're outside, especially
you're
on days like
outside.
today. It's
yeah,
perfect.
you're kind of in the corner. That's actually my favorite spot to sit. But we were thinking about what to do with that exactly. We ended up just making it a bar, but maybe at some point it becomes like a raw bar, or order oysters there or something like that. So
Very cool. Very
it's
cool.
pretty neat.
What are the hours of all three restaurants?
Open at 11, close at 10 every day of the week. And then, of course, Bonita has brunch 9 to 2, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then, yeah.
And I see Stephen Clark is a regular now, playing at Doc's.
Oh,
Doc Ford's.
musician?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah. He's
I think he plays at
everyone's
Dixie,
favorite.
too.
Oh, he does.
I think so.
Awesome. All right.
So-
Well, anything else you want people to know about how you guys are doing? How's your dad doing?
Dad's doing good. Yeah, Mark's doing good. Yeah, all is really good. We're excited for a great season. I think I'm hoping everybody is too, and we're just ready for a really good 2026 for Fort Myers Beach. I think there's a lot of good momentum on the beach right now with all the things going on and
Right.
new restaurants coming online and hotels and stuff. So let's just keep it going.
Now, do you have the political gene in you like your dad did running for
No,
office?
I
you're gonna-
really don't. Yeah.
Your wife is shaking her head. No way.
Brindley might though. She's
Yeah. Crazy. All right. Well, Joe Harity,
Yeah.
everybody from
Thank you.
HM Restaurant Group.
Appreciate
Thanks so
it.
much,
Thank you
Joe,
so
for
much.
coming on.
Appreciate it.
If you could send me that drone video, that would be awesome. Very nice. And stop by Doc Ford's, Dixie Fish Company, and Bonita Fish Company. They are located underneath the bridge, on the other side, right underneath there. And they're all great restaurants with great food and a lot of stuff going on here on Fort Myers Beach. A big event going on right now at Margaritaville is the 8th annual. There's so many things going on. I forget to assign the correct number. Like the boat parade was the 37th annual boat parade. I had no idea it was going on for that long. But the 8th annual Women's Club Christmas Tree Festival is going on. And Megan and a big hand for Megan and Deb Nelson. They're going to tell us about I got too many microphones today. So you grab whichever one you want. And I will turn them on. I think Deb's microphone is already on.
Hello.
Yes, that one is
Hello.
on, and we're good. So everybody can hear okay?
Good morning.
It's
Good morning.
taken us 7.5 years to realize how to avoid the feedback. So maybe I only have feedback when the wife is here. So maybe that's what the problem is. And
You
today-
beat me to the punch. I was already going to say that.
So last night was the first night. You had the VIP situation going on. So tell us how it went.
It was extraordinary. Honestly, absolutely beautiful. I'll tell a little side story, but Stephanie, my co-chair, and I were standing in the corner just kind of looking at it after everybody started to come in and looking at all the trees. And she and I got teary-eyed because it's been 3 years since we've had a true brick and mortar for this event to be in, a home for this event. And you could tell by the way the nonprofits have stepped up and decorated their trees. They have gone above and beyond this year. I mean, like nothing we've ever seen. And it was just really extraordinary watching. We even had Margaritaville staff come in and just kind of look around the room wide-eyed. And it was truly magical.
It was the first time in a long time we've had electricity.
Is that right?
That was a bonus.
Without a generator.
Yes.
So for anyone that doesn't know, the trees are in the conference room here at Margaritaville. There's a lot of other things going on outside too. They have like I don't want to call it a farmer's market, but it's some kind of market.
It is a vendor market.
Vendor market.
And that is going to begin at 1. We have our vendors already setting up this morning. And Ashley has done an extraordinary job just getting people spread out around the terrace. And it's a wide variety of vendors. So really good stuff to check out in time for Christmas. If you're looking for gifts, now's the time to do it.
Yeah, and the event starts at 1 o'clock today and goes until when? And
8 p.m.
8 p.m.
And if you're watching online, and thank you for watching online. Oh, my wife is watching. She's yelling at me. I'm going to give you some feedback. I don't know what that means, but that doesn't sound good. And let me explain. The reason why she's not here is because, we started this thing in Cape Coral, and so we're trying to do things there and do things here, and we still have 3 dogs. And she said to me this morning she's got a black eye from the new dog. I'm like, how does a puppy give you a black eye? But I'm sure I'll get an earful of it later. But what we're doing is we're trying to make sure the dogs aren't home alone too long because we're going to the Cape and we're going to run in a 5K at 5 o'clock tonight. The good thing about running a 5K at 5 o'clock is you don't drink it all during the day. Because you don't want to.
Some might.
Yes. Well, that would be odd. I could tell you, this is a second sidebar, where we used to do these Spartan races, and we met this guy that was a bartender at BJ's at not BJ's Wholesale, the BJ's restaurant at Gulf Coast.
Oh.
And he was a runner and he was a biker. He was a triathlete, and he wanted to do one of the Savage races with us once. So he met us at the Savage race. The guy drank like a half a bottle of bourbon before the race, at 8 o'clock in the morning. The race started at 8 o'clock. And he was so far ahead of us the whole time. I mean, that's when you know you're young. That's the end of the story. You're young and you can drink a bottle of bourbon.
Kind of a funny 5K story.
Yeah.
Dan. Yes.
So and a 5K?
It actually wasn't a 5K, but Fort Myers Brewing used to put on this beer crawl where you had to go around the building 4 times, right?
It was called the beer mile, yes.
Yeah, the beer mile. And each time you went around, you got a beer, and then
very
you go
warm
around
beer
again. So Dan and I went around once and drank all 4 of our beers and stopped.
Yeah, you already broke the rules. That's not how you're supposed to do it. So yes, we
I want to run with you.
So where were we? Oh, so that's why Kim's not here, because we're actually going to the Cape to run in that race, and then actually we're going to stop at the Slipway Cafe. Have you guys ever been to that?
Not yet. I'm
Seems
so
like a cool
excited
place.
for it. Yeah.
Right on the other side of the bridge, and all those things are all the rage now. The food truck parks, and they have lots of live music and stuff like that. But
will you report in tomorrow what it's like?
Oh, for sure. Yes.
Please do.
Yes. And but the tree festival is going on all day today, and we are going to do a little show at 1 o'clock to interview some of the vendors that you have set up there. And I know there's also some nonprofits here, like the Beach Kids Foundation, right?
Yeah. Again, they outdid themselves. 24 trees, 18 wreaths, 8 centerpieces. I mean, Beach Kids Foundation, Sanibel Seahorse,
The Art
Musical
Association.
Chorale, the Art Association, Friends of the Mound House, Friends of Lovers Key,
Fort Myers Beach Community Foundation.
Friends of the
So-
Library, Friends of Bay Oaks, you name it.
Yeah.
FMB Tip Jar.
Did you say the Sanibel Seahorse, or did you mean the Sea School?
No, it's Sanibel School Seahorse Chorale. It's their music program.
I had no
and
idea.
they have 4 trees in this year's event.
Wow.
And they're amazing. And we had 3 trees that sold last night.
Very
Yeah.
nice. And if you like trees that have alcohol attached to them somehow,
You're in
then
the
you're
right
going to want to
place.
go inside the conference room. and take a
There's
walk
plenty
around.
in there
Yeah.
for sure.
Very
Um,
creative. Very creative.
And then later today we have our infamous chili competition. It will get heated. We have 10 entries this year, and I'm going to try to rattle them all off.
Do it.
So we have 2 categories this year. We kind of broke it between restaurants and amateurs. to kind of level the playing field, if you will. First place for each category will take home $750. Second place will take home $500. And best decorated table will get a $200 Margaritaville gift card. So in our residential or amateur category, we have the great Alex King. Him and his group are showing up. We have Beach Kids Foundation, Deborah Grohl. We have Dustin Schmucker and Bob Nupp. So those are our residents, amateurs. And then our restaurants, we have Moms. Yeah, Heather's coming. And we have.
Can I take a quick break with Moms? They're offering free shuttles down. People can park at Moms. They can jump on the shuttle. They'll bring them down here for the Christmas tree festival.
Very nice. We
Thank
love
you
Heather.
for pointing that out for sure. So Moms, the Whale, who won last year, they're coming back to defend their title. Margaritaville. We have SOB. We have the new restaurant down in Santini, Legno. They are going to be joining us, even
Very
though they're an
nice.
Italian restaurant. They're bringing out the chili.
Love it.
Who else am I missing?
Alex King?
I said Alex. I'm going to look at my cheat sheet real quick.
It's all right. It sounded like you reeled off 10 there.
Did I?
And what
Yeah.
time does the chili cook-off begin?
We start at
3 or 4?
4.
4. Is it 4?
Yeah. Yep, I got them all.
Yep. Sounded like you got them all.
Yep.
So the money that is there's no online bidding this year, everybody. Everybody's got to come down
Yeah.
in person to bid on the trees.
Yeah,
There's
we started the online bidding the year of COVID just to make it a little easier for people to participate in the event. And honestly, it was kind of a heavy lift for our volunteers to be chasing down in-person bids versus online bids. And we felt we would have enough people this year to do away with the online bidding.
and there's also wreaths in there, and you're having a bake sale.
And
I saw
centerpieces.
Centerpieces. So
People are already bringing in their baked items. I mean, it's
how does that work?
well, we have volunteers that go ahead, they bake whatever
Yeah.
delicious creations they have. And Jan Fleming, who you'll probably talk to later this afternoon,
Okay.
she coordinates a bake sale with us. Monica is helping her this year. And she organizes the whole thing and has it all mapped out. And we sell out every year.
Prior to everyone bringing their things, we had groups of people get together and have baking parties where they just brought some booze, they brought their cookies and their dough, and they baked. And it was
again
kind of
with
fun.
the booze.
There was a
lot
little
of-
booze involved.
A lot of things around the beach revolve around booze.
Happy hour.
So the other thing I wanted to make sure that we mentioned was the women's club also is going to be in front of the LPA on Tuesday. If you haven't seen their brand new building, you should take a look at that. Hopefully that'll go through smoothly on Tuesday. Albert at Studio AD designed it. Gem Inc. is part of that whole team. That's a winning combination right there. You can go on the Women's Club website and become an annual member for only $75. Now, the only requirement that I know of is that every once in a while you will be asked to volunteer to do something.
And we have fun volunteering. Trust me.
There's booze involved.
Look at this. This
of
is
course.
fun. We have fun.
So
I know Deb shows up in this dress this morning,
It's
and
a Christmas
I'm over
tree
here like,
festival. It
I'm
should
in pajamas essentially, and she's in a dress with ruby red slippers.
yes. So some of the things you might be asked to volunteer with, I was asked to help with moving the furniture from the storage unit to the conference room, which I didn't help with because I was not around. Then they asked me tomorrow at 10 o'clock to help move the furniture out, which we
You
have
might
the
have a
mayor show
show.
tomorrow. So, but it's things like that, like the different events that they have going on. Speaking,
Well, you have your 5K coming up.
yes, speaking of which,
Mhm.
our 5K is December 31st at Diamond Head Resort. It's $35 to run or walk, and all the money, 100% of the proceeds will be given to the Women's Club to help with the building. You can also, there's a St. Patrick's Day parade that is now put on by the Women's Club. They've taken that over, and last year was a
And
dynamite success.
Deb is the chair of that.
That is
she did a
Saturday on March
dynamite job.
14th. Starts off at Santini Plaza, goes 1.2 miles to 175 Sterling Avenue and Estero Boulevard. It's where the Women's Club, our clubhouse used to be, and it got washed away in Ian. But we take that property, we park the floats where the building used to be. In front of it is the car wash area. That's where we have our after party. This year, we will have 5 food trucks, 2 different live bands, the VIP tent, and the regular tent will be twice the size. We're making it bigger, better. Don't worry, there's porta potties. We got you covered. And it is just a blast. We will be auctioning off some NFL items, some collegiate items. It's going to be fun. We've got a lot of surprises for everyone.
And that's March
14th.
14th. Is it a Saturday?
It is on a Saturday.
Okay.
And like I said, it starts at 10, the parade. The after party ends at 5 p.m. And we've got the registration site, the float registration area all ready to go. And that should be going live on our site in the next week or two.
Do we have any marching bands yet?
So far, we've got a couple of them signed up. I've got a couple more in the works.
Great.
We're trying to do a little mini bagpipe band because we share the same St. Patty's Day parade as what Naples does. So Guns and Hoses, that they are retired firemen and police officers. They're always in Naples every year because their friends are part of that community.
I'm going to have to make a call
But
about
I'm
that.
trying to get a few of a mini band for us.
Is there any there's that Guns and Hoses is huge. Like
They're
there's a lot of members.
huge.
Is there any way they could break it up?
That's what I'm working on.
Good.
I'll
All right.
I'll let you know next time I'm on.
Last time I saw them was out the VFW, the Fort Myers Beach VFW.
They're amazing.
Yeah,
They
I
are
don't remember
amazing.
which day it was, but yeah, incredible.
Yeah.
So,
They are.
all right, and you also have the Putt and Pub, which is January.
Yeah. And I think
17th?
we're full. I think
Got two spots
Two
left.
spots
two
open last I heard.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Dan and Trey are already working on our team's costume. So
Great. Now, again, you can go on the Women's Club website, which is wc-org. Is that right?
FMBWC.
Org.
I'm glad you make it easy for
old
people like me.
.org.
The membership is only $75. It goes to the Women's Club, helping out with all these different events. And really, you don't need to do anything but donate the money if you don't want to. But, you might be asked to volunteer once or twice a year, which, I mean, it's not a lot.
No.
It's not a lot.
And
The more
I
bodies, the better.
I should go ahead and say, so for the chili competition, tickets are $10. That gives you a tasting bowl for each station. It gives you the ability to vote for your favorite and for your favorite decorated table. You can buy as many bags as you want. So if you want to go back for seconds or thirds or whatever it is, plenty of good stuff to go around. And even if you don't want chili, at least walk through, look at the
Yes.
trees. Like I said, it's absolutely magical.
Yes.
They've
Very
really
Christmassy.
outdone themselves.
Very Christmassy. of
You
course.
walk in and the lights are off and all you see are the trees. It's just magical
Yes.
inside.
Yes. Anything else? I know we're going to be over there from 1 to 2 o'clock talking to everybody. Anything else you want people to know about anything Women's Club ish? Anything?
I don't believe so. If you are interested and just want to check us out a little bit, we do a general membership meeting the first Wednesday of every month. Usually Joy, who is in charge of our membership, sitting
is.
right in front
Sitting
of me.
right here, I believe.
She's really good about pushing out the information on our Facebook and our social media ahead of time. So even if you just want to come check us out and meet some of us and see if we're a good mix for you, come out, join us. And that's a good way to mingle and get to know some ladies on the island and men.
And there's
Yep.
likely booze will be involved. So keep that in mind. So, yes, dudes are allowed to sign up for the Women's Club. Don't think it's just for women only. So please sign up, help out if you can, but let's get this building rebuilt if possible on Sterling Avenue, where it used to be over in that area. So thank you guys so much for coming on, and we'll
Thank
see you
you.
inside the Christmas house over there.
See you in a couple hours.
See you
All
guys
right.
there.
Ed. As
Thanks,
always.
Ed.
Thank you guys so much as always. And before we get to our final great guest, I want to tell you about our sponsors real quick. Without our sponsors, we wouldn't have all this fancy equipment that I've overpurchased. Speaking of restaurants on the other side of the bridge, Marina Cantina is one of our favorite restaurants over there, along with Doc Ford's and Dixie and Bonita Beach, Bonita Fish Company. We were there the other night for the Boat Parade Awards. Easy access over there. They're open 7 days a week. They have plenty of parking and waterfront location. You get a chance to walk over, look at the beautiful water on the other side of the bridge there. Signature drinks and fun vibes, old school island style. Marina Cantina, bringing back the classic Fort Myers Beach feel. Stop by when you can. And speaking of great food, Mom's Home Cooking and Heavenly Biscuit have been making the world a better place, one tummy at a time, for over 25 years. They serve breakfast, lunch, and treats like their world-famous cinnamon rolls. We did the mayor show a couple of weeks ago, and Heather walked in because she was going to be a guest, and she brought a bag full of cinnamon rolls. And I was like freaking out because we were in a restaurant, but everybody loved them, and she makes great cinnamon rolls, and you should stop by over to her food truck park over a little bit, about a mile down here on the other side of the street. It's where everyone is treated very special. And finally, if you're not staying here at Margaritaville, think about the Best Western Resort right up the street. They have complimentary breakfast and Wi-Fi. It's within walking distance to all the restaurants and shops, but far away from the noise. No resort or parking fees. They have a giant parking lot over there and a nice tropical palm courtyard right on the water. Make your reservation today at bwbeachresort.com. That's bwbeachresort.com. Before we get to the great Ellen Vaughn, don't forget the Historical Society is having their open house today from 12 o'clock until 3 o'clock, and that's behind the school over there at 161 Bay Road. And tonight is the big shrimp dinner at St. Raphael's from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m., and they're on Williams Drive. So there's so many things to do. Great Ellen Vaughn, how are you? I know you're getting ready to go on a little journey. Whoop, let me turn your mic on.
Yes, I'm getting ready to go on a little journey on Thursday.
Where are you going?
So I'm going to Brazil. My daughter and her family now live in Brazil. And as I like to tell people, this is the first place they've ever lived where people don't ask me, why did they live there? And it's very true.
Have you been to Brazil before?
We have. This is their second year in this stint. And so last year we went 3 times, and actually we went in October. So I guess we've been there 4 times.
Like, do you have to go to, where do you fly? You fly out of Miami or West Palm? Or?
Well, actually, the first year we were able to fly out of Fort Lauderdale, and then they abandoned that route. So then we now fly out of Orlando. Orlando. Thank you.
And how long is that flight to Brazil?
Well, actually, that's a direct right to Recife, which is the city they live in. So it's only an 8-hour flight. But when we went in October, they weren't flying yet because it wasn't season. So we flew Delta. So we flew from here to Atlanta to Sao Paulo, then to Recife.
Oh,
so it was 20 hours.
What a difference.
Well, but we used to do those kinds of light legs, so we were not unaccustomed to it.
What is Brazil like?
I'm just beginning to get a handle on it. It's a very different culture. And Portuguese, although many people will tell you if you speak Spanish, you can speak Portuguese. No, that's not at all the case.
Because you speak Spanish?
No, I speak neither. I'm monolingual, unfortunately.
Okay.
That family is all learning Portuguese, but my 15-year-old grandson is the most fluent. And when we were there in October, my daughter and I were trying to do something. I don't remember exactly what. And she said, I don't have enough Portuguese for this. We have to come back with Liam.
With the young one.
The young one, yes.
So did they also speak English so that when tourists come? No, it's all Portuguese.
It's all Portuguese. Perhaps if you go to more touristy areas like Sao Paulo or Rio de Janeiro, you probably would run into English speakers. But Recife is in the north of the country. In fact, I finally looked on a world map. So it's 7 degrees below the equator. So it's way out in the Atlantic. Right now they're 2 hours earlier than we are. The sun comes up at 4 a.m.
Really?
Yeah. Because
wow.
they really ought to be in a different time zone, but they're not.
Yeah. So I didn't mean to quiz you on Brazil, but do you know like land size?
Oh, it's massive. I think Brazil itself might be the same size as the continental United States.
No kidding.
It's
I never would have guessed that.
It's massive. And in fact, this trip we're actually going to the Amazon. Yeah. Okay. We're going to stay at a resort that's built on stilts in the Amazon River.
Wow.
Yeah.
Don't say that out loud so my wife can hear you. Otherwise, she might want to be a stowaway for that. Now, the Amazon, what, like you said.
So the Amazon is the second largest river in the world, the Nile being the largest.
Uh-huh.
So where we're going is actually the confluence of the 2 rivers that come together to form the Amazon. And I don't remember the name of either of those other 2 rivers, other than one of them is brown in color and the other one isn't. So when you see them come together, it's kind of a muddy color. So I'll come back with pictures.
But yeah, but when you go there, do you go into the jungle to see things, or what's the plan? Or is it just you just stay at the resort and enjoy the view?
Well, we're staying in an eco resort, and there are day trips, mostly because Pat and I are old people, so we're not going to go tramping around in the jungle. You can do all manner of things. You can go where you can go hiking and tramping through the whatever.
What is an eco resort?
So it means that it's living in harmony with the land. So they're not going to have disposable stuff, and and it's literally built on stilts in the water.
No kidding.
Yeah.
No electricity, solar panels.
It's solar.
Oh,
it's solar.
Wow.
Yeah. So it'll be kind roughing it. It won't be like.
Do you have to kill your own animals to eat and things like that, or fish?
Fortunately not. Somebody
Fish
else,
out the window.
Somebody else is going to do that for us.
Gotcha. Well, you didn't come on the show to talk about Brazil, but that was an education. Thank you very much for that. Now you leave on Thursday. And how long are you going for?
We're gone for a month.
That's month.
Why I have to get all of this in, because I'm involved up to my eyeballs in a lot of
50 different 501c3s. But I think the one that you love the most, even though you love them all, is the Mound House.
Correct. I'm really invested in the Mound House a great deal. I've gotten to know so many wonderful people through the Mound House. And by volunteering there, you get to meet incredible people that come from all around the world because they're interested in those kinds of historic things. I call them the brown sign people. I don't know if you've ever noticed, but even internationally, when you go to those kinds of attractions, all the signs are brown. It's a brown surface with kind of a beige lettering on it.
I did not know that, but I'm learning a lot from you today. Were you ever a school teacher?
No.
Okay. Well, you could be now. Clearly.
Well, my daughter and her husband that are now in Brazil. That's what they do. They're educators for a living.
Gotcha.
Here's my fun story about that one. When you grow up in that kind of a household, my now 15-year-old grandson, when he was about maybe 5 or 7, no, he was older than that, 5th grade maybe, he was complaining about one of his teachers hadn't given them the rubric. I'm saying, what is a rubric?
Right.
Okay, so that is how you determine what you're going to be assessing a student's progress on.
Okay.
And it's a cube.
A rubric cube.
So it's a grid. So, they do hot. If you're really proficient, you're all up in this quadrant. If you're not, you're over there.
Little different than the way they do it here.
Well, no. I think they do it. They just, most kids don't know about rubrics unless you grow up in that kind of a household where that's the dinner table conversation.
Give everyone the quick overview of what the Mound House is.
Okay, so the Mound House, love of my life. So the Mound House is a historic house museum that was built by settlers beginning in 1906 and then changed over the many years that it was occupied. And the town acquired it formally in 2000, but they'd been working on it since 1995. And they restored it to the way it looked in 1921. So it's a historic house museum. But the other really intriguing part is it's built on top of a Calusa mound, which was a purpose-built mound by the Calusa Indians, which were the original inhabitants of this whole region. And they lived here in harmony with the land for 2,000 years. Mm-hmm. And then when the Spanish came in the 1500s, things didn't go so well. So by the 1700s, the Calusa were basically decimated. The descendants of the Calusa are actually the Seminoles. The Seminoles are a conglomeration of tribes that were pushed down from other parts of the United States, and then the Calusa. So they are the heritage. Mm-hmm. And so at the Mound House property, which is just shy of 3 acres, we have an underground archaeological site that you can visit. Well, before we were able to get it reopened after Ian and reopened after who came first, Helene, but then Milton really did it in.
Yeah.
So it's questionable whether or not it will ever be able to be reopened. And I guess I should back that up and say that the residents that own the property from the 1950s until the 1990s, they put in a swimming pool. So they had dug into the shell mound, because you typically wouldn't destroy a shell mound, but that had already happened. So when the town acquired the property, the first director was as an archaeologist. So they knew that if you took out the swimming pool, you'd be in the shell mound. So we had a profile of the shell mound, the shells, and so that you could see the many years that it took to build it up. It probably took the Calusa probably 800 years to construct the mound.
Wow.
To the height it is, which is just shy of what's 13 point something or other height. So it's the highest point on the island, which is why the house was not damaged in Ian.
Right. And there's also a kayak launch. And
there's a kayak launch. We have kayak tours. So the house museum is still open. The grounds are open. And we're still working to figure out how to have some kind of an exhibit that talks about the underground. But that's in the works.
And the Friends of the Mound House, what is that?
Okay, so when the town acquired the property
From Lee County.
from the no, it was privately owned. It was
I thought it was a Lee County property.
no. It was owned by the Long family. And when Mrs. Long passed away, they did not have children, but they had a lot of nieces and nephews, and the nieces and nephews were not interested in the property. So they were going to sell it to a developer. And when the people in town got wind of that, they put together a consortium of people that really pushed the town to acquire the property. And that group became the Friends of the Mound House. So we formally incorporated as a 501c3 in about 2004. And that's another history. And actually, I want to suggest that maybe sometime in January, you could have Bev Milligan, who is the president, and Mike Hughes, who is the vice president and the secretary of the Friends of the Mound House, come on and talk about that, because Mike Hughes is the son of Dan Hughes, who was part of that original group that helped preserve
another lover of the Mound House, Dan Hughes.
Yes.
It's a plaque with his name and his wife's name.
Well, actually, the Ring Road, the Shell Road, is actually named after Ann and Dan Hughes.
Nice.
It's Dan and Ann Hughes Loop.
Yeah, I think the first time Kim took a walk around at the Mound House must have been with Dan and Anita. Anita, big fan of the Mound House too.
Oh, of course. Yeah. Well, she was the first mayor, so she was the mayor when the town acquired the property.
Nice. And so the Friends of the Mound House tries to raise money for what purpose?
For the Mound House, because as the town property, the Mound House is a line item in the town budget. Now, museums never can make their own nut. They can't. They just that's not their mission.
It's like a park.
It is like a park, and it's a service that you provide to a community, and it's. My vocabulary words.
Yeah, but you try to raise some money to offset what the taxpayers are putting into it.
Exactly.
Same as the Friends of Bay Oaks or something like that.
I mean, that's the whole purpose of a friends group. So we host fundraisers, and so I'm going to segue into what we're here to talk about. Is we decided to really branch out, and
This is unique for sure.
It is unique. So we wanted to do something that was a little different than what's been done in the past on the island, and I have to give credit to Adam Knight, the former manager of the museum, who's now gone off to a lovely job in California.
I didn't know he left.
He did. And so Karina Briss, who is now stepped into that role as museum manager, and she's the backbone support for all that we do.
Was she in the organization beforehand or
Absolutely.
hired from outside?
No, she's been
promoted.
She's actually been with the Mound House probably longer than anyone else. She's been there for 8 or 9 years. So she knows the ins and outs. And so she does all the legwork for us to be able to make these things happen. So this year we're hosting a murder mystery dinner.
Very cool.
And we're going to do it at Diamond Head only because in order to make it work, we need to have about 100 people there. And there isn't any facility at the Mound House where we can seat 100 people.
You used to do it. You used to do events out on the grass with a big tent.
Correct.
And you don't do that anymore.
Well, big tents cost a lot of money.
That's right.
They cost more money than people can absolutely even imagine.
And then putting them up is a royal pain in the behind.
Well, you have to hire somebody, which is why they charge you so much to rent the tent. But if you recall, the last time we rented a tent, we were not able to use it because we had a strange storm in March.
Yes.
And it was so windy that the tent was going to go airborne.
Yeah. And Diamond Head's a perfect place for an event like this.
Exactly.
They really do a great job for the community helping out.
They do.
So what's this all about?
So this is a professional theater troupe, and I'll give this to you.
Thank you.
And they put on themed murder mysteries. And this one is themed on the 1980s. So think of Miami Vice era.
Okay.
And we're going to encourage people to come in costumes.
What was the blonde guy's name in Miami Vice? What was his name? Anybody remember what his name was? Steve Johnson? Dave Johnson?
Dan Johnson?
No, it wasn't Dan Johnson. No,
Johnson's the right name.
Sounds right. The first name doesn't sound wrong. Right. Somebody will know. Somebody will type it in. I think the last name is right. Well, does anybody remember what their TV names were? Somebody's yelling in the background.
Don Johnson.
Don Johnson. That's
Don
right.
Johnson.
You said Dan. Thank you.
You just had the wrong vowel in
Welcome to Trivia Saturday, everybody. We're going back to the 80s now. Can you name who was the other guy? What were their names on TV? Do you remember their names on TV? No, not Starsky and Hutch, for crying out loud. What did he say? Did you hear what he said? That's right, Crockett and Tubbs. I wouldn't have remembered any of that. So Crockett and Tubbs. I'm not even going to ask what the other guy's name was. I can't remember any of his names. So I didn't mean to sidebar you there.
Well,
but
that's quite all right.
the 1980s, dressed like it's the 80s.
Dressed like it's the 80s. So I was thinking I probably still have some clothes in my closet that are from the 1980s.
Yes.
Remember it like it was yesterday.
Right.
But I also want to mention that in addition to having events, we also like to encourage people to come and volunteer at the Mountain House.
Wait a second. You didn't give out enough information on this
Okay.
one, Ellen. It's January 31st.
January 31st.
Cocktail hour from starts at 5 o'clock. The show and the dinner is at 6 o'clock. It's $150 a person, and that includes dinner and the cocktail. And all of it goes to support the beautiful Mound House. And if you go on our website, Beach Talk Radio News, all the information is on there. I wrote a story on it. You might have to scroll down a little bit, but there's also a link on how you can purchase a ticket. If you go, I'm sure if you go on the Mound House website, you can see there's a QR code that'll help you buy the tickets
Exactly.
too.
It takes you right to the ticketing site.
And please, the Mound House is a jewel on the island. If you get a chance to go visit it, it really is. It's off the beaten path, so you have to know where to find it. But it's worth the drive.
Follow the brown sign. There's a brown sign at the top of Connecticut Street. And Connecticut Street is about midway down the island. And actually, it's very identifiable because there is a house that's under construction, but it has a very functional garage right there. And it's orange with blue shutters.
Yes,
so
you can't miss the orange.
You can't miss. That's where you're going to turn. And if you're coming from the north, you're going to make a left-hand turn. If you're coming from the south, you're going to make a right-hand turn.
Wait, is the orange house Veach's house?
It
Bill
is
Veach's house? That's on the beach side. There's Connecticut Street has a beach access right there, and on the left-hand side is where the church used to be.
Correct.
The Beach Baptist Church,
Correct.
which is a giant empty parking lot now with a couple of, I think there were a couple of trailers there. They might be gone by now. But so
Right.
you're going to make a left on Connecticut and just go all the way to the end.
Right. In fact, we now have a second sign because people would say, "Wow, where is this place?" Because it's literally it's on the bay side. So now we have a second sign that's at that stop sign where Shell Mound cuts in, and so it kind of can keep going, and then you will get to the Mound House. Because at this point, well, the vegetation there was not really decimated that much by Ian.
No, not
so
at all.
It's you really have to know where you're going.
Yeah.
Because you just keep saying, "I'm seeing green. I'm seeing green."
And even if you don't, you should go inside the Mound House. But if you go when it's closed, you should just walk around and you get a great view of the water. They got nice docks over there, and
We have, in fact, you can come and visit us by boat because there is
Yes.
a dock right there for coming to the museum, and there's an observation pier. And really, the observation pier is about the only place to go fishing on the island now. Because all the
can't go on the bridge,
right.
And so you can just go over there and go fishing.
Absolutely, and you
Okay.
can go over there and you launch your kayak. I mean, people launch their kayak and then
Yeah.
they go and they park in the parking lot for the museum.
Yeah, and it's very quiet over there too. If you like quiet over there,
So
it's very
peaceful.
quiet. Yes.
Right. And we have kayak tours. There are kayak tours that are offered on a regular basis. You can just you go to the Mound House website and you'll find all that information.
Now, the Mound House. What is the Mound House website?
So it's moundhouse.org.
Okay, nice and easy. There's no dashes or anything like
Nope.
that. Moundhouse.org, and you can also become a member of the Mound House. You can get a membership.
And you can be a volunteer, and that includes membership. So
Yes.
if you have a modest budget, but you really like getting involved in things, that's a grand way to do it. Become a volunteer at the Mound House. No prior knowledge is required. There are
Yes.
whole training programs, and it's a very warm and welcoming group. And the reason I joined a lot of the organizations on the island is that's how you get to know people.
That's right.
And so I tell people that consider becoming a volunteer at the Mound House because you get to know people.
Right.
And it's really, you can work take as many shifts as you like or as few shifts as you like. And as I am sometimes late for mine, I say, well, you can dock it for my paycheck.
And the membership is not. It's like
It's
$35 or
modest.
$50. It's not a lot of money per year.
Per year, you can get a membership for $35, but you can do different categories. You can do all the way up to thousands of dollars if you want to be a platinum sponsor.
Right,
So
and
it's whatever your pocketbook can handle.
And once you become a member, I'm sure you can get on the list otherwise. But then I'm sure your email is going to get into the system where you're getting information on when they need help and when you need volunteers and other things that are coming up like this. And you're going to need, I think you said you need 100 people to make this work, right?
Yes. Well, we had that. Well, at this point, we're capped at 100 people. I mean,
Okay.
Diamond Head can probably handle more than that if it becomes so popular that people are.
Yeah, and by the way, folks, this is a thing. This is an actual group. It's called the Gibson House Mystery Performers. You can Google them, or they have. I think I even linked their website in the story that I wrote, so you can check it out and see how unique this organization
They're very
is.
professional.
Yeah, they do this everywhere.
Yes, they do.
So
yeah,
all
actually,
right.
they started out in California and then they kind of relocated. I'm not sure if they still have a troupe in California or not, but they were California based and then they have relocated to Southwest Florida.
So did you cover the volunteer stuff?
Well, actually,
you wanted to bring.
So I'm just
Okay,
going
go
to say
ahead.
that the first Tuesday of every month they will hold. If you just want to show up, just mark it on your calendar, and you can go and visit the staff and learn more about the Mound House and the volunteer opportunities.
Right. And thank you, Karina. She posted the moundhouse.org website on there. So you should just go on there. Hopefully just become a member and help out the Mound House, because it is an awesome little jewel on Fort Myers Beach. And it's something everybody should go visit.
In fact, I will say that we tend to have the most visitors when it's really not a good beach day. So people come here for a week and they say, well, it's not a really good beach day. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? So go to the Mound House.
Yeah. And I know there's not a lot of parking on the property, but there is a parking lot to the right-hand side as you're going down Connecticut Street.
Correct.
That you can park at.
Correct. That's our overflow lot. Yes.
Okay.
And in the past, Beach Baptist used to allow us to park there. Now I'll have to check in with Karina and see if she's been able to make arrangements with them again.
Oh, is that Karina's the
That's
new
Karina.
the new boss?
She's the new boss.
Oh, thank you, Karina, for doing that, and good luck and congratulations on being promoted to what is the name of the position?
So she's the acting manager.
The acting manager. Great. All right, Ellen, can you give us just a few words in Portuguese before you go? Or
Obrigada.
Obrigada.
And that means thank you.
Oh, thank you. You're welcome. I don't know how to say that in Portuguese or any other language except for English. So we'll have a safe trip and a wonderful time with your family. And
We
thank
will
you so
definitely.
much for always coming on and giving us the information.
Well, thank you for making space for us, because it's these are important things, and yeah.
Yeah, we'll keep promoting this, and hopefully we can fill that room.
Excellent.
A
Excellent.
big hand
Thank you
for
so
the
much.
great Ellen Vaughn, everybody. Thank you so much, Ellen, and have a great time. And it's okay if I hold on to those sheets there. All right. Yeah. Pop that on there. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. All right. All right, Ellen, thanks a lot. And thank you to our friends at the Women's Club. We're going to be going inside the tree room soon and doing a show from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock. Talk to some of the nonprofits over there. And thank you to Joe Harity. Please visit some of the HM Restaurant Group facilities down on the other side of the island. They own Doc Ford's, and they own Bonita Fish Company and Dixie Fish Company. And also, if you're bored today, you can go down to, well, not if you're bored. That sounds like you should only go if you're bored. You should go down to the Historical Society. It's on Bay Road, which is right behind the school. You know where the school is? The school that nobody's able to use because of miscommitment, got everything done this year. It's behind the school over there. They're having their open house from 12 o'clock until 3 o'clock, so an hour from now. And then tonight, Jumbo Shrimp. Actually, I don't even know if it's Jumbo Shrimp, but it's the shrimp dinner at St. Raphael's from 5 to 7. And the Tree Festival goes from 1 o'clock on today. So please come down and bid on some of these great-looking trees and wreaths. And the chili contest is later on today. And then tomorrow at 10 o'clock, the mayor is back. And that's over at Wahoo Willie. So much going on today. And we thank you all for coming out. Have a great weekend here on the beach. It's a lovely weather day. And we'll see you tomorrow at 10 o'clock and 1 o'clock inside. Bye-bye.